Today on the grid, it's Blind Photo Critiques Day. Our viewers have sent in images and we're going to critique them and crush their hopes and dreams. Also today, joining us remotely, it's Erik, the real man, Canaham, Rocket Man, Kuna. We've got some giveaways. Well, we have a giveaway. No, we have two giveaways. You'll have to watch and see, and it all starts in just 60 seconds.
The Grid is brought to you by Tamron. Check out their 28 to 75 millimeter f2.8 lens. It's for Sony full frame mirrorless. It's awesome. Go to tamron-usa.com.
And ProPhoto, the light shaping company. Check out the ProPhoto B1X, powered all the right places. Go to prophoto.com/US.
And Platypod, the tripod alternative that is changing the world. Everybody has a Platypod. You should too. Go to platypod.com.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another live episode of The Grid. I'm Scott Kelby. Joining us here from his home, from his palatial estate, Mr. Erik Kuna.
Hey, Scott. How's it going?
It's going well. It's going well. How are things in Kuna land?
Oh, it's good. It's good. We're just staying busy.
Yep. Same here. All righty. So today we are doing blind photo critiques. We've asked our viewers to submit 3 of their best images, and we are going to give honest critiques on them. We got a flood of images. There must be a lot of people at home. we got hundreds of submissions, and so if you didn't get chosen, I just want to let you know a couple of things. It's not because your images are good, bad, or indifferent. Number one, I simply couldn't get through them all. I already had more than I needed, and then they were just keep pouring in. Number two is sometimes we choose them because there's something that we can help with. I mean, sometimes your images are so good, all we can say is you're really good, done. And then sometimes they're so bad, we don't know where to start. So we try to pick images that will be helpful to our viewers at large. Also, sometimes people send me links to their computer desktops. That doesn't help.
No,
A lot of times
never.
people send me links that I follow and it says, you need to ask permission for this. You don't have access to these images. And then other ones have me log in or create accounts at new services I've never used. Some have their download capabilities locked. It's a fun day, let me tell you. Anyway, I was able to get enough images together, of course, to do the show, but it's quite a struggle. I would say about a third of the images don't even get through. They're bad links, or you just send me to your Facebook page. That's helpful. Or your portfolio. Here's 50 images. I'm not going to go through and pick my 3 favorite. You're supposed to pick your 3 favorite and send them in. All that being said, we did have something really good happen last week. We didn't have a grid because we were in the midst of our Lightroom conference. So we did a Kelby One Lightroom conference. It was 2 days, 1,022 photographers from all over were a part of it, and it was wonderful. It was great. We had incredible instructors, and now we've rebroadcast the whole thing for everybody that, they've got access till the end of the year to watch any of those classes that they missed or they want to see again. And they're already in there watching classes. So it's been great. Very, very exciting.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was really cool, to also see how many people just loved the training, I think the break too from, what we were dealing with right now. So,
Yep.
just having that and, the overwhelming, it was great to see all the comments. Like we talked about that last week in our staff meeting where we talked about it and all the awesome comments. I mean, that, it was like hundreds of just comments about how awesome of a time photographers had at it. So really cool stuff.
Yeah, it was. And hats off to our team. Christina and the video team did an amazing job. Erik led all the technological side of putting this whole thing together. And it was to have 2 tracks, instructors in different places, and have it all work. It was quite a 3-week circus, and Erik had to oversee the whole thing. And
I will say with that, Scott, our web department, did an awesome job. Even all the way from like our design to our web, the experience for people, that was really really cool. I had a lot of comments about that, and it's awesome because we threw that together in just a matter of weeks, really kind of, all hands on deck and making sure testing, even Ron, and myself testing into the night, trying to figure out different technologies and different ways of doing it to make sure that we had the right thing for people.
Yep. We'll have another conference coming up in July that we'll be announcing soon. So we're putting all the plans together for that. And we'll, of course, you guys will be the first to know because we'll announce it here on the grid. Well, Erik, shall we look at some pictures?
We should.
All right, let's start right here. So I'm going to just look through the real quick, three images real quick, and we'll take a look at them. Here we go. So they're not bad, but they're also they're not awesome because and I want to take a moment to talk about this first picture. To now this is going to run over the 3 minutes we give probably because I think this is an important thing that we need to talk about as photographers. So the photographer that took this shot understands the basics of how to make a professional looking sports shot. The background's out of focus. The subject is sharp. The subject's far enough away from the background that the background's nice and non-distracting, and that's a huge thing. And they're at a good angle, and it's nicely exposed and all of that. And I think what happens to a lot of photographers is they look at a picture like that and then they'll show it to other people and other people will go, oh my gosh, that looks so professional. But the problem is what you have here in this photo and all of your photos, what I would say is you have the basics down of shooting sports photography. But what you're missing is what makes these actual professional looking shots. This is technically correct. But technical correct, that's just the first step. That's like, okay, you're in the door. But now let's look at the picture on screen. Is it exciting? Is he making an amazing expression? Is anything really cool happening? You know who would like this shot? His mother. His mother
number 10's mother loves this.
But outside of that, this is a nothing shot. It's zero. It is a technically on the money, boring shot. And unfortunately, this happens a lot in photography where we're so focused on the nailing the technical that what would you do with this shot? What could you do with this shot? Literally, if you're not making a football trading card, and even then, I just, so let's just take it from, if you're shooting sports like this, it's editorial sports, right? You're covering a game. What are you going to do with this shot, right? Unfortunately, it's not a saleable shot. It's the newspaper's not going to use it. The website's not going to use it. Really, I shot this for his mother, and his mother absolutely loves it. And I remember I wish I could show you the picture. I don't have it. I'm not going to take up the time to go find it, but I had a picture similar to this. The guy was running and in sports, you've probably heard us say it a million times, the 2 eyes and a ball is a big thing, right? Well, there is no ball and there's no story here. Did he win? Did he lose? Is there a bad call? What's the story? There's zero story here. There's nothing. There's no action. There's not another player. There's nothing going on in this shot. And I know this is like our first one and other people that have submitted going, oh no. But there's a real teaching moment here. And I'm trying to help when I say this, is that you've done the technical stuff right, but you're not telling any kind of a story. It's just it's almost like a practice shot. Like this looks like the shot that I take when I'm covering a football game, when I'm trying to make sure that I have my settings and my camera correct. Right? So, it's like a test shot.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the thing, I think you were kind of like going really deep into this one because this is going to be a theme throughout the whole day. or the whole critique. I'm sure we're going to see this over and over. That photo that Scott has up, so if you go back to that photo, it's technically accurate, right? I mean, it's a technical photo. I like how they blurred out the background because I can't tell if the stands are empty or the stands are full, which is this was an awesome thing. But again, it's just a shot. It's a technically accurate photo, and that's all there is to it. It's yeah, and well, that's the thing. Everybody puts so much effort into the gear. Obviously, you have the right lens to shoot it. You have all the gear to shoot it, but you're not taking the time to really study what makes a photo, because what makes a photo is never it is the gear, but it's not the gear.
Yeah. You need the gear to have it technically correct, but what makes a great picture isn't the technical correctness of it.
Well, it's kind of like that of like
and technically totally incorrect.
Yeah, it's kind of like that of if you really look.
Uh-oh. We had a Kuna freeze. He just froze. That's how cold he keeps it in his house. All right. Oh, you're kind of back. I'm figuring that since they went one up on me with the camera that he's frozen out. All right. Can we... Hey, Erik.
I'm back.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we lost you there for a minute. You went.
Yeah, it's like I was frozen.
It was like you were frozen. All right. So, but what he's saying is I have thousands of these shots that we take before the game starts. You go out there and you want to warm up. You don't want to shoot an NFL game and be ice cold. So we go out there, we shoot some warm-up shots. We warm up. The players are warming up. And you get a couple of shots that you can send in before the game starts, just in case they need a shot of someone, a nice tight shot that you wouldn't be able to get during the game with someone with their helmet off or something. But this is going to sound terrible, but this is a test shot. This is what I do when I'm trying to make sure that my focus is set correctly on my camera. My settings are right. So I shoot a player standing there to make sure everything's working. So the next shot, I think it's just after the peak moment of action, which is what we're looking for. It's just after it. Like the ball's already in his hands. You kind of want the ball right. You know what you got to do? Whoever the photographer is that shot this, you need to go watch that class with Peter Reed Miller on what makes a great sports shot. So this is the second after. Like we need the frame before this or 2 frames before this when he's just about to catch the ball. That's a peak moment of action. Once they've already caught it, even though he's a little bit in the air, he's not high enough in the air that it's awesome. And the other reason is I don't think you're quite low enough to make it look big. It looks like he's, a foot off the ground, which isn't amazing. So it's an okay shot. This one is, it's very flashy and very shadowy. There's a lot of, let me kind of zoom in a little on this. Let me see if I can make it any bigger. All right. There is a lot of all these all these shadows and stuff. And here's the other thing. You're late in the day. You should have gelled the flash so it's not so white looking. It just looks very flashy. It looks like very, very, and I think that you could probably, unless you had to show the field and everything, I think you probably could have done a better crop. And well, number one, you could just do a better crop, period. Because you don't need this little, you kind of a lot tighter. I mean, a lot tighter, and still get the same effect and have a picture where that's more, what's the word I'm looking for? Better, more better. There's a word out there, then you know what it is, and it's escaping me right now, but this needs some work. You know who I would look to see this type of shot? Dave Black. Go research Dave Black. And Dave takes shots like this at football games, high school football games and stuff, with a flash, and he absolutely nails them. You got a bit of work to do on your flash. You got work to do but now that I've said all these horrible things, I don't want to discourage you because you're well on your way. But just know that this is a multi-step process and you've started the process. That's good. You're on your way and you're trying flash and you're working on your, your shots are sharp. There's a lot of good things going on here, but you got to take it. There's a long way to go, but you can do it. I've seen sports shots where I realize this person's never going to get it. You're going to get it. Just keep at it because you're on your way. You're on your path. I know I spent way too much on this first whole section, but I see the reason why I'm so passionate about this is I see really good potential here. Like, I just want to go, man, let's spend the day together. I could get you up to speed really quick. So I tried to do that in a short time here. So I think you got good potential. I think you obviously understand your camera and you understand some of the things. It's just time to make some more interesting photos. And I would definitely do those two things. If you're interested in shooting that last kind of shot, go learn from Dave Black. He's so good at it. He has classes on it you can go watch. Number 2, Peter Reed Miller's class on what makes a good sports photo. He spends a lot of time on football. That would be well worth watching. Really, really good stuff from him. All right. So that was a brutal start. I hope it's not going to go like that for the whole thing, but it started off in kind of a rough way, but it wasn't bad. And that's why it's weird. It's hard to make critiques like this when the photographer's pretty good. Hey, speaking of sports photography, over on my blog today, a wonderful sports photographer, Claire Jones from the UK. She is a rugby photographer, top rugby photographer in the UK. She was my guest blogger today, and she writes about sports photography, and it's very, very good. Of course, her pictures are great, but she's got some great stories. Her storytelling, she's as good a writer as she is a photographer. Definitely worth going over to scottkelby.com and read my guest blog today from UK sports photographer Claire Jones. Really, really good. All right. Oh, there she is right there. There's Claire. All right, so go check those out. And in the meantime, let's go find another image. Let's go to, well, this one. Yeah, now that shot you were just showing, you got to read the story behind it because it doesn't look like much of a shot, and she explains that's the whole story. But she's got some great shots in there, but that first one. All right, so let's move on to our next one, all right? So we have 3 shots here. Here we go. So, I don't know, Eric. I think this shot is awesome.
Yeah, the first one is the one that's out of place to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this looks like a tourist snapshot.
That
You have
is
2
definitely
people, guy with his hands in his pockets, somebody else walking. You just didn't wait another 30 seconds to try to get a better shot, and it wasn't going to be a great shot anyway.
Yeah, it's just a weird composition too.
Yeah, it's a weird composition, and it looks like it should have been wide instead of tall.
Yeah.
But having people just kind of milling around your shot is never going to be a recipe for greatness. Now, let's go, and this is interesting.
Yeah,
This one's
I
just
mean, the
kinda
other two are interesting, definitely.
Yeah, interesting. But this one has got real, like, I should enter this in a contest. But before you do, can you please remove these ugly wires up in the right corner? This is such a good shot. The shadows, and look at the light. She's a silhouette, and then there's this little bit of light that falls on her face, and other silhouettes. This is such an interesting shot. This is really, really neat. I mean, it's just the number one, and I'll just go through all the things that make this. Well, I'll go through some of the things that make this such an interesting shot. First is you've got an odd number of people. Believe it or not, that is an important aspect of making an interesting shot. One person, 3 people, 4 people makes it weird. 3 makes it perfect. Number 2, the fact that they're backlit and have this shadow makes it kind of mysterious. But let me see if I can open this. Look at the shadows that fall on her face. it just changes everything, right? And there's just such great, this little bit of color and this little bit of light. It's just fantastic. I mean, it's like you couldn't have planned it any better if you did. Then you've got the wonderful colors that all work so well together. That blue sky with this kind of burnt color here, and the colors in her dress, and the red in his, I mean, come on. Everything came together here. And I love how the building slants to the left. It's just, there's a lot of energy and movement without seeing it. You're not having blurred movement and stuff, but there's a lot of energy to this shot, and it makes you, there's a story here, and you're wondering, why are they carrying these bricks on their head? And this is just so interesting. I just love it. It's well done. The post is good. It's just, there's a lot of graphically pleasing, color pleasing. Jay Maisel has that book, Light, Gesture, and Color. And in it, he talks about, if you have an image that has interesting color, well, that's something. If you have a photo that has interesting light, well, you might have a photo there. And if you have an interesting gesture, that's a photo. This has all three. This has got light, gesture, and color, the name of his book right in there. Do you know how rarely we see that? This is a killer. Like, you got to enter this in competition. I would get rid of that. I would get rid of that, and also make sure that it's okay to edit your photos if you enter a competition. You're not adding anything. You're going to put a moon there or something. I don't think that would be an issue. But again, always look at what the rules are of the competition. But this is one that I would certainly consider entering, and I'll bet you win or win something. First place, second place, whatever. What the heck is that?
That's my timer.
Oh, is your timer? Okay.
I started using a timer because we were getting a lot of criticism for going really long on the last one.
Well, but the last one wasn't about that photographer.
No. We're getting critiqued.
That was not. I know. The most important thing is not what we teach. It's that we get through as many photos as possible, right? That's the thing.
Yeah. But I totally agree with you, Scott, of like, that's the thing with this one is that first one's totally out of place given the other two. And, that's where it definitely has that, those elements to it. And that's the Jay Maisel is, I look for that in every photo.
Yeah.
Every photo I create.
It's hard to find. All right, let's move on. All right, so sheep, and it looks like they're in Ireland, if I had to guess, on the Dingle Peninsula, if I had to guess, and it is a guess. Swanee. And maybe an elk, a deer, something. Doe,
yeah,
a deer,
a
female deer.
That. It's well done.
Yeah, I tell you, this is awesome.
Yeah,
this is beautiful. I mean, the lighting and the water and the subject and how low you were to the ground. There's a lot of, or for your perspective, a lot of really nice stuff. This, I think, is far and away the best one. This is very nice. And this is nice. It's weirding me out that there is pink. Like, do you see that it's pink?
Yeah, it's very, they're all processed a little bit differently, but they have a processed look to them. I think a consistent processing, like that first one is a way different processing than the last one.
Right.
And I mean, there's little things like honestly with that one, what keeps on distracting me is there's a dark piece of grass like to the left on the bottom there. It's all my eye goes to is there's this. It kind of looks like there's like I don't know, poop on the ground. I mean, it just looks weird.
Poop on the ground.
Poop on the ground. So, but it takes your eye there.
Poop on the ground. I'll get rid of that in a second. Let's get.
But it's like stuff like that. It's just very.
I know. I'm gonna get the poop mover here.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
That better?
Yeah. It's
helping.
All
right. So what I did was I went and desaturated the color on the animal. I'm gonna say it's I don't know, a deer.
Let's just call it a deer.
We'll call it a deer. I desaturated the color so it's not so prevalent.
Yes.
And if I had to add a color, I think I would add in yellow. I don't think I would let the pink hang out there. I would go more to where a orangey yellow kind of, and not do so much pink. But anyway, and then we got rid of the poop in the corner, which is important. And there's some poop right there too, I think. Anyway, but this is very nice.
Distracting images. They're distracting to your image.
Right, but do you notice how minor these are compared to the last images?
Mm-hmm.
Like these are very minor, nitpicky. It would be nice if you got rid of the pink. Let's get rid of the thing in the corner. They all matter, but they're not as big as the other thing, which is why we spent so much time on it. All right, so
we still got overall, 17 seconds here. So if you want to spend
nice.
17
Well, I mean,
seconds.
I would just say overall, you have very nice photos. They're nicely composed. They're they really do understand light. The light is nice in all of them, and you don't have any harsh light. And you know what else? Because that one sheep in the front is looking straight at you, it's engaging. You know, it's hard to make an engaging sheep photo, but you were able to do it. So
they're very, very good photos. I love them all.
Yeah, they're just good. All right, let's take a look here. All right. So this is a photographer who I can tell you off the bat is they really understand their camera and their gear. They're getting really nice exposures. They've got nice post processing and stuff. I would just say this first shot, while nice, what's the subject? You can't just say it's the scene. What am I supposed to look at? Am I looking at the tree on the left? The tree on the right? Am I looking at the floor where it's bright over there? What is it I'm supposed to see here?
That's where you think you should be looking, is that floor to the right. And it's like if there was a deer sitting right there, it would be like, wow, that's awesome.
You would have a clear.
If you put that deer right there,
Yep. You put a deer there, it would change everything. So yeah, I think that this is a shot in search of a subject.
Yep.
Now, but it's really nicely done except for that. But it's just if you don't know where to look and you don't know what the subject is, and you can't just say the forest, because that's not really a subject. That's a genre. You're shooting in the forest. That's a location. But now this one, it's very obvious what your subject is, right? It's not, you're not like, what am I looking at? You know, now if you took the two rocks away, then it's kind of a boring image. All right, now the next one is stronger, even though I don't like the rock formations, but the clouds are so much more interesting. Look at the sky in the other one. It's okay here, like right by the rock, but then it just kind of turns to nothing. And this one, you've got a lot more. In the other one, you have a much more interesting sky, more detail, more dimension. And it looks like you're looking at the same rocks here. So it's these two rocks here up close. However, we do have an issue that we're going to discuss and fix. You've got a glow and maybe even some chromatic aberration that you need to fix. So there's a glow all the way around your image. Do you see the white glow? That comes from when we over post process. Not that it shouldn't be this far, but it's a byproduct of it. See the glow? See the white line around the edges? Look at this side. Look at all, looks like you traced it with a pen, right? How do you get rid of that? We're going to find out right now on the grid. All right, let's open that bad boy in Photoshop. Give me a second to get it open. And I thought I did open it, but maybe it's open. Here we go. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to get the rubber stamp tool over here, the clone stamp tool. You're going to change your blend mode up here in the options bar from normal to darken. That tells Photoshop only affect pixels that are brighter than where I click. So if I option click here on a Windows machine, it would be alt click. You're sampling that color and then watch. Look, your glow is gone. Are you seeing that? Are you digging that? Are you grooving on it? That's all you have to do to get rid of that glow, is change the blend mode to darken. And look, it doesn't erase the mountain or the stack or whatever you want to call it, but it does erase the awful glow. All right, so that's that. It's a nice shot. It's not. It's nice. It's nicely done. I really can't say anything bad about it. It doesn't light the world on fire. It would look nice, like on a canvas and printed in someone's office or something. It's nice. Same thing with the other one. What do we have here? Where do we go? Here we go. They're both very nice. I actually think I like this one more than this one, but I wish I had that sky in this shot, because that sky is just kind of meh. It's
Right.
meh. And that's meh. Meh. All right. But I mean, obviously a very good photographer. They know their stuff. I would just work on, you've got the lighting, the composition. You need a little bit of fix on the post, but I mean, your post is actually very good. So what would we say to this photographer to make more interesting photos? Because I've been to this beach. I have photos that I look at it and I'm like, shoot more interesting stuff. Seek out more interesting things. Go to more interesting places. I believe this is
Look for a strong anchor or foreground element, and then make sure that you work with the sky that you're given. Yeah.
Yep. All right, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we do have some giveaways today, and we actually going to ship stuff today. We don't have to actually send stuff. We're going to ship something today. 2 things. So we're going to do that and a whole bunch more when we come back on The Grid. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Would you believe us if we told you that you could fit studio lighting in your pocket? Well, Lytra has made it possible. Lytra is a global award-winning brand that designs and manufactures professional-grade camera lights that are compact, rugged, and waterproof. Whether you're using Lytra gear in a photo studio or underwater, Lytra's mission is to provide content creators with flexible and unlimited lighting tools that can mount on any camera, anywhere. Their lights come with a high CRI or color rendering index, making them some of the most color accurate lights in the industry. Due to the light's compact and rugged design, photographers are able to use the lights in ways that their studio lighting never could. Lytra has also made multiple lighting accessories available to fit your every need as a creator. Whether you're shooting portraits, nailing a product shot, or even flying your drone, they have got you covered. Lytra enables photographers and filmmakers to focus on their craft and create something. What will you create?
Is the tripod dead? Sure, a tripod works for basic shots, but who wants to be basic? You don't need basic, you need blockbuster. And that's a job for a platypod. The platypod is your go-anywhere, do-anything flat tripod base. Its compact design helps you discover unique angles that you could never reach with a typical tripod. So, whether you're bringing up baby, driving Miss Daisy, or with your beasts of the southern wild, you can capture big-budget footage and stills for a fraction of the time and money. So go ahead, shoot the next Rocky or Birdman, or on the waterfront. The platypod is equipped to grip uneven surfaces and hang from just about anything. When tripods go low, the platypod goes lower. Its flat base reaches the lowest possible angle, resulting in truly inventive shots that can't be replicated with traditional equipment. And if you feel like adding a dramatic overhead angle, the platypod has you covered. Just strap it or screw it in, and you're ready to go within minutes. The platypod is constructed from aircraft-grade aluminum and titanium. Yeah, the stuff Air Force One is made of. So it's durable enough to travel with you from Chinatown to Casablanca and everywhere in between. If you only take the tripod, the story ends. You wake up the next morning with nothing but basic footage. Or you could take the platypod to a museum, or on an elevator, or strap it to a tree, or hanging on a bench at church, or put it on the ground and get incredible blockbuster footage. Who are we kidding? You should totally take the platypod. The tripod is not dead, but it needs a sidekick. The platypod.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by B&H Photo, the professional source since 1973.
Hey, everybody, we're back. Scott Kelby here with Erik Kuna, the Rocket Man. Hey, did you been shooting any rockets in quarantine?
I have, but few and far between.
Yeah,
understandable. I shot the moon the other day. There's the moon.
That is
the moon. So that's about it so far. Shot the moon.
It's okay. All right. Hey, I want to talk about what our giveaways are today and how to enter. Number one, we are giving away a Platypod Max, which is the big platypod. You saw the platypod ad earlier. So there's that. We're also going to, and it's the big one. It's the big one. It'll hold whatever. So then secondly, we're going to give away a part 5 of my digital photography book series, which is my photo recipes version. Part 5, we're going to give away the actual print version, not the e-one, because now we can ship again. So someone's going to win the print version of that today. So I don't have one here to show you, but we could certainly find it.
And, Scott, we have another giveaway if we have a new sponsor on the show, as you saw in that last segment. So Lightroom is giving away one of their Lightroom lights on the show as well.
Ooh. So. Nice. Hey, can I say something about them? First off, we're thrilled, of course, to have a new sponsor. We love having sponsors. It helps put the show on. Number 2, I have a bunch of Lightroom gear. Oh my gosh, their stuff is amazing. I cannot believe how bright it is and how many cool accessories they have for it. That's unsolicited. I would have said that whether they were a sponsor or not. But anyway, their stuff is extremely cool and extremely small and ridiculously bright. And it is really surprisingly you'd be like, dang, this is better than I thought. It's better than I thought. Anyway, we're glad to have them and welcome them to the grid. So cool. We're giving that away as well. So we have those 3. How do you enter to win one of these things? Here, all you have to do, leave us a comment wherever you are. It doesn't matter whether you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube or on Twitter or on Kelby One, wherever you are, leave us a comment. Also, it would be helpful if you told us which one you wanted to win. You can just say the book, the Lightroom, or the platypod. If you tell us, then we have an idea of what to send you. If not, we might send you something you don't care about. Oh, good, here's a book, and we really wanted the Lightroom. So anyway, just let us know, and we will choose winners while we're still broadcasting. And we got a little ways to go. All right, want to see some cool stuff? Because I can see 3 shots right now that are really cool. 1, 2, 3. All right, I'm going to start with this one. You know what makes this shot so cool? Now, it looks like it's, I don't know, is it raining on stage or whatever it is?
Something.
But the fact that precipitation of some sort, and you can't see the artist, but that's what makes it so cool. Look at the cables right at the front of the stage or whatever. This is just a really cool shot. It's not your standard concert shot with someone standing there singing at the mic. It's very moody. The color is moody, and I just love that there's something in the foreground. So you really kind of put them in an environment by including that cable and stuff. I just think this is I see a lot of concert shots, and Brad Moore for many years was my assistant, and he's got so many great concert shots. So I'm used to seeing really good shots, and I really do like these just all the way around. This one,
Scott, if you go back to that last one, there's an interesting thing too. Also, is where the water's coming down and hitting the floor. That's where it's actually exploding out, and that adds a lot to that photo. Is that moment where it's like the water? You can actually see that V of the water kind of exploding out. It wouldn't be the same if the light wasn't hitting right there. I think, at least.
No, there's a lot of neat stuff going on here. The only thing I would do in post, if it were me, I'd get rid of this little bit of white stuff here in the left corner.
Yeah.
It's not helping the photo, and it's a great photo. It'd be worth fixing. The other thing in this next photo
over there
is just so cool. Now, I'm not exactly sure what's happening. He's throwing a Les Paul. He's catching a Les Paul. This is just a really cool shot. I mean, this is something you don't see every day. I love the angle of all the lights. I think the black and white works great with this. And if I had to fix anything, what would it be? I'd get rid of this little distracting light in the bottom right corner. Outside of that,
that one has those trifecta of things that we were talking about earlier. There's that gesture of him throwing the guitar or catching the guitar. You're not sure which one, and you're kind of like in that suspense or that moment. Then the light is really awesome with the way the concert light is kind of silhouetting the guitar, but then still hitting the frets there. And then you have the color and the fact that there is no color. There's that black and white tone to it. So really all cool all around.
Now this next one, I think is the weakest of the group, except for the light is so cool. Like he's just the guy standing at the guitar, which usually, standing at the mic, which usually makes kind of a boring shot. But the way the light hits his face, and his face is in silhouette, but you can still see enough of his face to kind of see the gesture. This is actually a very slick shot, and it's not easy to make a slick shot of someone in a boring pose, but you did it. And so kudos on you. The only thing I would fix, there's a little thing I'd fix in all these, is these two little dots of this creepy green thing up here. I don't know what it is. Ghost?
Yeah, it's just hanging out up there and kind of pulling you towards it for no reason.
And so there's these little tiny things, but these are great photos. I'm really impressed. I think this is great stuff. Really well done. You don't see, it's hard to see really good concert shots, to see concert shots where you think, hey, all right, let's move it on.
Yep.
All right, we got 3 shots here. There's 1, 2. Well, I think you're onto something here. I think you're shooting a pattern, right? Your subject is the pattern.
Yeah.
And it seems like the way the pattern's going that you're kind of leading me here, but I'm not sure. If one of them were a different color or something, it would be great. But you are just shooting a pattern. But as Jay Maisel, today's Jay Maisel day apparently, as Jay Maisel says, people like patterns and patterns are interesting. But if you want to make a pattern more interesting, interrupt it. In other words, if this one single one was blue, it would make this whole thing more interesting. You have a pattern and people like patterns and it's interesting. But one change in the color, something about this one, it's brighter, it's darker, it's a different color, to interrupt that pattern would have made this really strong. Now, I'm going to give you an example. It's not going to be pretty because I would have to work with this to figure out what would be. But you can go in here and choose a color. I'm going to choose blue, but it's not going to be the right color. But if you were able to do something to one of these that draws the eye, it changes everything. Now, I don't think that blue is going to be the right color. Not that blue anyway, but maybe we can get a different blue. And let's make it darker. And at the same time, let's bring up the whites. Something to draw your eye over to it. You could have an even stronger image. Let's put them I meant to do side by side. Here we go. Something in there that breaks the pattern, and not the overlay. There we go. Something that breaks the pattern would just make the shot more interesting. I mean, that's not the right color. It's, blah, blah, blah. In fact, a green might be nice. Can we go a little more green on that? Let me bring back my overlay. Grab some green on that bad boy. Okay, it's not green. Is not the answer either.
But the point
I'm not sure what the answer is. I know what the answer isn't. It's not that. But anyway, that's that one. This is kind of, it's nothing. It's I don't know. It looks like you were on a tour of a house and took a picture.
Yeah, you took a nice shot of a table, like a snapshot of a table.
Yeah, it's like a,
I mean, it's
very
nicely
snapshotty
done.
looking.
It's nicely done. It's fine.
This is another pattern shot, but it's kind of an ugly, it's just messy. So what I would recommend to this photographer is you're onto something over here. You got the levels and the pattern and you're onto something. This is a snapshot and this is just kind of messy, but it's a pattern. It seems to me you're drawn to patterns. I would work on some pattern stuff. pattern stuff. It's a genre of photography, and there are people that are really good at it. I like where you're going with that, so I would stick with that. All right. We ran right out of time on that one, didn't we? All right, let's take a look at what we have here. Ready?
Yep.
Well, a nice use of light. I like your low angle here. It looks like it was shot with a platypod. I don't know if it was, but down low like that, it looks very platypod-esque. And you've got a reasonable amount of stained glass here. Unfortunately, this one got too bright on you, and you had to lower the highlights, and it turned kind of gray. So maybe doing this shot as an HDR 3 brackets might have helped that. And this could use just a little bit.
Is it off? Is it off center, or either leaning? I think it's probably off center.
Let me see.
Because see the floor there, how? Because that's a big thing with if you're gonna do architecture like that, to get kind of like that balance.
Yeah, you know me, I like to. I don't know. I can't do it in this image. I'm gonna say I like to see him leaning back, but that's just Anyway, it's nicely done. It's still we're nitpicking. This is beautifully done. You've got a very nice sky, but it's just not. It's just kind of like that's nice. This is all kind of just messy. Nice sky, nice long exposure. Like you did a lot of technical stuff right, and you had a nice sky. But at the end of the day, it's not that.
The dock also blends with the horizon, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, so it's not bad. It's not awesome. This one, I want to like it. It's the old bike leaning against the wood wall. So I like that you've got the nice color contrast. You know what's kind of killing this shot is this line. There's like a pole in the background or something. Street sign that's casting a shadow in the middle of your shot. That's killing this shot. But either way, let's just say it wasn't there. It's not a shot that makes you go, wow. It's like, this is kind of impressive, right? Because it's beautiful architecture. It's nicely photographed. It's interesting perspective. This is a sunset with a messy dock, and this is a bike leaning against a wall. I know that makes it sound very simple, but they're all kind of okay. The first one I think is your strongest. The second one, it's nice. It's sunsetty. It's okay. But like camera-wise, like nice long exposures and streaky cloud. You're doing the technical stuff right.
Technical,
and you're
boom down.
Technical done. Now shoot more interesting stuff. I mean, and I know that that's a theme, is like you're shooting kind of stuff that's kind of like, but I mean, you know what? You can go on Instagram right now and type in. Oh, my mic just bit the dust here. You can type in any word and just see so many millions of great photos, right? You could type bicycle and into Instagram and see incredible bike shots. That's why when you make shots that are kind of they're kind of Getting access to really great photos is very, very easy. Go to Instagram and type in a word. So you got a little work to do to get past just it's a bike leaning against a wall. It's not going to make anybody say, wow, and that's what we really want, right? You want to show somebody your photo and go, oh, wow, this is beautiful. You took that? Not like, oh, that's nice. Okay. Oh, yep, it's a sunset. Now, someone might go, ooh, pretty clouds, because people like pretty clouds, but I mean, it's not gonna sell. So, but you forget about the camera stuff. It's more of the eye and finding interesting stuff that we're at right now. We saw that one. Let's see what we got over here. We saw that one. All right, here we go. 3 images. They look like vacation photos, and that's fine. They're nice.
That first one's leaning.
That one?
No, not that one.
Well, that one's leaning too, though.
Yeah, they all suffer. That one's definitely leaning to me. And there's also
Yeah.
there's this random thing on the horizon to the left that just I don't even know what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's the thing: is they're all okay pictures from your vacation, and that's what they look like. I think this is probably the strongest one because you've
Yeah.
got the surfboard looks like it's hovering. You've got the crystal clear water, which is interesting, and it's just a simple, nice, simple shot. So I do like this one. I like the way you
That
have your
one's the
horizon
best.
line. Like
Yeah.
this is well composed and the colors are very nice. The surfboard really nicely contrasts its color with the water. Um, and honestly, I don't know if you even need the sky for this shot. I'm just spitballing here. But what if you didn't even do that? What if you just did? I messed that up. Hang on. What if you just did this? I don't know if that's better or worse or in between, but it's just this shot is really about that. But I guess if you want to put it in the context of where it was, it's probably okay to leave the crop the way it was. But anyway, I think it's clearly the best of the three. And the others are like pictures from your vacation with a glow around everything.
Yeah.
It's
Well, and
pictures
that
from
other
your
one,
vacation that are
yeah, you
crooked
could
with a glow.
you're on a boat there. You can see the wake from the boat. I mean,
Yeah.
that's another thing. I mean, you could take the wake from the boat out, and it actually might make it even a stronger shot. But it's still
Yeah.
an okay
Yeah,
shot.
they're kind of just snapshotty at this point. But
Yep.
you did take this shot, and that shows a good sense of composition and light. And this is not. There's no one in here that we've seen today at all that has a problem with camera equipment. They have the wrong lens, or they don't have the right exposure, or any of that stuff. It's all a vision and creativity issue. All of this is, you know, we see a sunset, and we're like, ooh, but you know, we see sunsets every day around, I don't know, 6:30. So, and now I live in Florida, and Eric and I both live here in Florida. You know, we see incredible sunsets all the time. So it's bad for us. Anytime Eric and I see a sunset shot, we're like, it's
Been
you know,
there.
it's every day in Florida. So it's not fair because I know there's other parts. Ooh, now here's some nice shots. Take a look here.
Leading line.
I know. I was just going to say, what a beautiful way to lead the eye
Yeah.
to the lighthouse. And look at the nice long exposure. Look at the streaky clouds. This is really nicely done just all the way around.
That just makes me happy looking at that.
Yeah, that's nice. How about this?
Oh, I've been there.
Yeah. That's where you met Mimo, right there.
Mimo right there. Yeah, that's a
ran into
great.
Mimo by accident
Just,
in Venice.
yeah, I just was walking. I was like, "Is it Mimo?" It's like Erik.
Because Mimo lived like back that way over the bridge. We went over the bridge and go that way. It's Mimo's house. The only thing I would say here is, and this is going to be totally a judgment call. I don't like this ziggy of the boat here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure this one either. But if I was going to get rid of anything, leave this and get rid of that. It's just, I don't know what that's spraying into the shot. This is okay, but I don't know. Let me just see if I can. Let me open this in Photoshop and see how hard it would be to get rid of that. So they did a long exposure. And it's not. Did I open it in Photoshop? Hang on a second. I'm trying to get over to Photoshop to see if it opened over there. Yeah. This may not be the easiest thing to get rid of. I think I would try the patch tool, which is this tool that looks like a patch. I don't know if this is going to work at all. This is a bit of a mess. This isn't going to go very well for me, is it, Erik?
Yeah, that's a hard one. Let's see.
It was better than I expected. It needs a little cleanup. Still better than I was expecting. So with a little work, you could do it. This is now creating an issue here we don't want, and it's just going to get worse. How about over here? Yeah, it needs a little bit of work. But anyway, This is nicely done. The both of those shots are beautiful. We're still back on that one. We can get rid of that. Let me go to not that one, this one. And here's the last shot. This is a really good photographer. They really understand.
I mean, they really understand it. Yeah.
And nice post-processing. Unfortunately, it's not the prettiest lighthouse you're going to see. It looks kind of like the prison lighthouse.
But it's a well-lit and well-composed
It's well-lit and interesting
lighthouse.
and well-composed. This is a really good photographer. Just really good stuff. They could probably shoot anything and take a good picture.
Oh, yeah, that's good stuff.
This one might be a little hot on the well, on my screen, not the screen I'm looking at, you guys, the broadcast screen, but it's a little oversaturated maybe. This is good and this is good. Yeah, I'm being nitpicky. They're great shots. Well done.
They're really good shots. Yeah, I get what you're saying about that Venice. I actually it's funny, I just texted you, Scott, and I said I was standing right there.
Oh, we lost your mic there.
Spot. I can't hear you. I had something in my ear.
Oh. Was it
but anyways,
headphone?
well, no, somebody was talking to my ear, but I couldn't hear you.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I texted you that because I had that same problem in Venice with the boats coming by, and texted you a picture that I took because, yeah, it's just very hard when stuff's traveling through your scene, that kind of stuff.
Well, the long exposure can help with that because the long exposure.
Oh yeah, you just got to get very long.
But if you have, very long, just long enough to get clear out of the screen. All right, let's take a look at this one. We'll take another break here. Let's take a look. Here we go. 3 shots. I think the desert shots are very strong. This one.
Mm-hmm. I like that one.
If it were me, I would edit this little bush out here on the right. And while it would be a pain in the butt, you could do it and get rid of these holes in the dirt too. You could do it. That would not be so bad. In fact,
they're not terrible. They're not terrible.
I know they're not terrible, but it's also not awesome. So I wonder if we could hold on. I wonder if I could get rid of them. Give me a sec here and say, what if I did this? And went that way. Like that. It's not perfect, but I think it makes a stronger thing, unless you want people to look there. But I think you've got a leading line leading you into something, and then you're kind of stopping for that messy. I'm going to show you the before and after. Yeah, it's not bad. I would remove it though. If it were me, I would remove it. Anyway, that's not bad. That's actually pretty good. And then this last one is kind of messy. And I know what it is. You're really looking at what we call the God beams. And you're focused on that. And the rest of the photo is kind of a mess. Now, let's take this same shot and let's say this tree and this tree and that tree and that tree. We're not there. And it was just the clear terrain and this one tree, you might have something. But the reality is you got a bunch of ugly trees in there too. And I know that you're looking at this, but we see all of it. And all of it is a little messy. Still, nice, good photographer, nice job, but that one in particular is not super awesome. All right, give me a second. Oh, you know what? Let's go ahead and take a short break. When we come back from this break, and we will, we're going to look at more images. We got some giveaways coming up, so make sure that you go and leave us a comment in any one of the genres where you're watching us, and we will be choosing some winners here just shortly because, well, we're already over time.
Hi everybody, Scott Kelby here, and you got hired to do a wedding, or maybe you're doing an architectural shoot, maybe you're doing a portrait this weekend, What's the right lens for the job? I get asked this question all the time. People say, hey Scott, I'm doing a wedding this weekend. What lenses should I take? Well, you know what? I'm gonna tell you. I've done an entire class that from beginning to end, we're gonna take all these different genres. We're gonna do architecture, we're gonna do wedding, we're gonna do portrait, sports, wildlife, street photography, each genre. What would I tell a friend? What lenses would I tell them to use, and how would I tell them to use them? You're gonna learn more about lenses than you ever really wanted to know. We're not gonna get into the nerdy stuff, but we're gonna get into the stuff that you actually need to know to make good decisions about which lenses to use for which project. We're gonna cover a ton of stuff. You're finally gonna know what all those acronyms mean, and you're gonna know which lens is the right one for the job. So come and check out my brand new class. It's for Canon shooters, and it's found exclusively here at Kelby One.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Canon.
All right, we're back.
Hey, I was going to show you, Erik sent me a picture, and I was going to airdrop it to myself. Oh, there I can. All right. So Erik sent me a picture he took from that bridge, and I'm waiting for it to airdrop over. I'm hoping it's going to airdrop over. Oh, here it comes. Heard the little, but I don't see it.
Yeah, it's very hard there
it
because
is.
you have to.
Oh, it says it was canceled. Nice.
Long
Hang
exposure.
on.
Long.
Yeah, it looks nice though. It's a beautiful shot.
Oh, thanks.
Hang on. Waiting for my PowerBook to accept it. All right. This is fun for you guys, right? Watching people accept
Sure,
airdrop
right?
today on the grid. It's our new category. All right. There it is. All right, let's take a look. All right, here's Erik's shot. Isn't that nice? No boats, no nothing. Nice sky. Get your clouds moving side to side.
There was tons of boats. Tons of boats.
Tons of boats.
Yep. There you
Tons of boats. All right, there you go. Let's increase the contrast a little. There we go. All right. Can't help but tweak it. All right, we got a few more to look at. All right, we have about 6 more to look at. So we're going to do them quicker, but let's take a look. Here we go. You know, these are all very nicely done. I mean, they're just nicely done shots. That looks like, is that Bergen Schmergen? Is that Schmergen? That's nice. You know, it's too bad there's the ugly trees up here. This is really cute, but
yeah, that's my favorite
anyway.
because I think you get led into that alleyway. You're
Yes.
wanting to
Yeah,
go
yeah.
between those homes. Yeah,
Looks
like you
like a
want to
little
go in
Disney
that
village up
alleyway.
there.
Yeah.
But I want to get rid of all the ugly branches coming in everywhere. So, but can I give you just a tip? I'm going to open up this image here. So this is not a tip I invented, and I would love to give the photographer credit that I picked it up from. It was years ago, and I would love to give them credit. I don't know who it is, but they said that one thing they do to their images, I loved all their images, and they actually said in an article, I make everything very blue. Like I make my white balance really blue. So I'm going to show you what that would look like on your photo. So here's your photo, and I'm going to take just the white balance and go very blue. And I think it makes most nighttime shots more interesting. And so I'll give you a couple other examples with your other images. Taking the white balance and just heading over towards blue. And here's a before and after. You don't lose the red. You did lose a little bit of the yellow streaks on the headlights, but if you really loved that, get the brush and go paint in yellow over those streaks. And let's put more yellow and pull back some of the highlights. There you go. You get your yellow back. So anyway, I think it just makes for a more interesting image, and you know, it is definitely a stylistic approach. Now this is already pretty blue, but you could go here with some blue. But you know what I would do? Number one, I would get rid of all those branches. I would just have to. And then I would copy that window into the other windows. I just would. All right. Good job though. I mean, you've got the technique, obviously. And hopefully the blue thing will help you a little. But I mean, they're cityscape shots, and they're not the most exciting cityscapes, but it's technically all nicely done. Now just look for some more interesting cityscapes, but they're nicely done, very, very nicely done. Let's go up at the top here. We just got a few more to look at. Here we go. Well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. This is an interesting
that
shot.
First one. I like
Well,
that
sure.
one. Yeah.
In fact, it looks like an entirely different photographer took that than took all the others.
Absolutely.
This looks like
that one looks
three. That's like a stock shot. Did you get this off Adobe stock? You know what really makes this shot though? The doggo. Because her gesture is just kind of standing there. It doesn't look wistful, or, you know, a lot of times you have someone with their arms up like, woo, I'm at the top of the world, but she's just kind of like, I'm exhausted. But the doggo really helps that one. This is, I don't know what's going on here. Like, this looks like a National Geographic photographer. This looks like a stock photographer. This looks like a beginning photographer. So I don't know what to say because it's so all over the place. Like, this is really interesting. You've got interesting light, interesting gesture, interesting color. And then this is nice. It looks like a great shot to share on Instagram. People like this kind of stuff. I like that you get some scale, and I love that the dog's out there with her and all that. And and it's long exposure. You've got streaky clouds and stuff. And then this, don't do that. Don't shoot this. You're a people person. Don't shoot buildings. It's a boring building too. It's nothing. It's nothing going on there. Stick over here. If I would say, what are you really good at? This. What are you next good at? This. What should you not shoot at all? That. And it's not a terrible shot, but your other ones you obviously have a real talent for. All right, let's take a look at these three. They're kind of small because they were on Instagram. Let's see if I can make them bigger. There you go. Well, 1 out of 3. So let's start here. This is nice. It needs some post-processing, but you got a nice long exposure. The water's nice and silky. It's an interesting place. You shot it from a good angle. There's I would probably add a vignette, go to the effects menu and just kind of darken the edges a bit. So I'm focused on the waterfall and not, see how it doesn't darken it crazy. You don't even know a vignette was applied. And then the color is a little bland, like just in general. I don't know if you need to do something with white balance to make it more interesting or contrast, but it seems like there is an interesting shot hiding, because you did the technical stuff right. Just a little bit of tweaking, I think, could make it a lot more interesting.
And the light on there is it's so soft and kind of flowing on the, I mean, it has a really good, but you're right. Just toning that would help a lot.
Yeah. Just a little toning would help. All right, so there's that. But that's clearly the best one. The other one is a sunset. It's okay. Yeah, I mean, it's a nice sky, but it's a nice sky, but it's not really a great photograph. I mean, you didn't put the horizon line in the middle. That's good. It's down lower. Your sky is more interesting than the foreground. But at the end of the day, it's just kind of I was on vacation and I grabbed my phone. And this one just looks way over processed.
That's
like your sky
with that one
looks funky. It just looks like I went too far in post. And it's nice. You got a nice leading line that leads you to the I guess it's a lighthouse. But it's not a particularly interesting photo. It's okay. These are all those look kind of snapshotty, and this one looks like you worked it. So more of this. All right. And I'm trying to get through these quickly. Here we go. All right. Well, I like some of what you did here because you made sure everybody was in decent light. Like nobody's in direct sun. They're out late enough in the day to where it's okay with a crooked horizon line. And he's just too close to that edge. I would almost rather
look at that photo and then look at the last photo, and the same thing's happening in both, where that edge is in this photo, but then you go to the last photo, there's a weird edge on the right side.
I would say close it in to where you don't notice.
Yep.
That's number one. Number two is you got a dumb looking leaf there coming into his head. I would get rid of that. The other thing is there's too much space between them. He's got a leaf coming into his head here too. That stuff is not good. I know you think it is. It's not. It's very, very hard to do that and pull it off and make it look good. And most people don't do it well. But I think to create a more romantic moment, he would need to be closer, like 2 feet closer. Like inside her COVID zone, like inside.
If he was closer, you would not have leaves in the.
And I would warm up the white balance a bit too, because the white balance was a bit cold on the left. I would warm that up a bit over here. There we go.
Yeah, the distance they're apart, it kind of looks like they just met or something.
Yeah,
it's for this a wedding.
Yeah, it detracts from the romance of the shot. And the third one, see, they're nice and close, and that's more like it.
Yep.
And unfortunately, it's very bright behind them. I think just in post, I would darken the background because you don't want to draw attention away from the love. The love. Bring all that down back there. More than I'm doing, by the way. Like you need to bring back highlights and darken it. You need to make sure the focus is on them. I just went right over their face. What am I thinking? You get the idea. And then you got to fix that. Sorry, that was pretty bad. All right, and then you need to go back with the brush a second time and just bring them out. Nice.
Wrong way.
Bring them out a little bit more. And this is a 30-second, retouch, but it needs to have more, and then I would even maybe hit those edges, the outside edges a bit with a vignette all the way around to darken it up. I did a hack job of a thing, but you see where I'm trying to go. In fact, what you might do, here might be an easy way to get there. Get rid of them, get rid of that. And instead, let's use the radial tool. Let's darken the exposure outside, and let's just put a little pool of light on them. Maybe something more like that. And then darken the outside quite a bit, so you can feel the love. Yes, yes. More. I over-exaggerated perhaps. I think I got a little carried away there with the how dark to make the background. There we go. Now you can feel their love. So anyway, something more like that really focuses the eye and stuff. But otherwise, I applaud you for being concerned about the light, which you did in all of your photos. So you're on your way. All right. That's those three. I think we went through. Oh, we have not gone through this one. Erik, I'll let you take this one.
Well, I mean, this is where you saw the long exposures before, where it was kind of really silky. That's where this could definitely help. If not, I mean, they're just snapshots of a river and water flowing through it. I mean, if you go through them, it's a river, middle of the day, snapshots. There you've got you don't know where to look. You got a tree. Oh, well, you tried to kind of pull in some rocks as the foreground, but then the water's just kind of like murky, frozen, kind of just, ugh. So, I mean, at the end of the day, that's where, like, it's there. You started getting a little longer with your exposure, but not long enough.
Yeah, it looks like F22, but not an ND.
Yeah, you need an ND filter, and you need to shoot at the right time of day. And actually get a strong foreground element or strong element that kind of anchors it. Right now, you're just kind of taking pictures of a river.
A lot of the problem here, and this is just a shooting rivers thing and streams, is you got to get a very clean picture. If you go look at pictures that you like, that you've seen online on 500px or whatever of a stream, they're so clean. Right? They're just really clean and they're nice. So what I'm going to do, Erik, is if you'll go ahead and take care of the giveaways, I am going to go to 500px real quick and find us a stream shot so I can tell you what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So let's look at the giveaways. So let's see. Yes. All right. So we got giveaways today. So let's see. We got the Photo Recipes book. So Doug York has won the Photo Recipes book. We have Chris P. Chris P. has won the Platypod. And then Scott Hinton has won the Lytra Light. So just email gridprize@kelby1.com. So that's gridprize@kelby1.com. And just give us your information, and we'll send your prize off to you. So very, very cool stuff.
All right. Erik, it took me 5 seconds to find that example. Look at the difference.
That's
Look
it.
Look at this. Do you notice how clean it is?
Strong foreground, with the water. It's spilling in. It's all silky.
Long exposure.
And the trees are kind of the background. It's not distracting from the river. And yeah.
But guys,
right there.
The big thing here, yes, technically a long exposure would have helped, but you still would have had a bad photo. You would have had a bad photo with a perfectly executed long exposure. What this is clean. This is the thing with streams and rivers.
Simple.
You gotta simplify the scene. It doesn't have a bunch of sticks sticking up, a bunch of ugly leaves and moss and weird stuff. It's a clean shot. And I want to find the photographer that did this. This is Little Pigeon River West Prong, but I want to find the photographer's name here. Greg Lemaster. So nicely done, Greg. So that shot was really on the money for what a stream shot is supposed to look like. And he's got obviously a ton of stuff here. Good photographer, but that thing was money. That was on the money. All right. So Eric, did you do our? I was looking. Did you do our giveaways?
We got all the giveaways done. Yeah.
You have done well. Hey, can I point out something else real quick before we go? Oh, wait, let me just see if there's anybody else. Hold on. I think there was. We looked at that one. There's one. Oh, look at this. We got to see this one. These are beautiful. I'm just giving you a heads up going into it. Aren't those nicely done?
Oh, yeah.
Look at the light. Out of focus background, clear subject, clean shots. Really very, very pretty. Just beautiful. All I can say is cheers. Well done. I think there's one more, and then I wanted to tell you something. All right, last one. Nice long exposure. Nice long exposure. And a door. I like the drama of this. You know, it looks like a movie poster. Right over here, you have to write the horror. Anyway, but it's a really nicely done long exposure, but it's a shot of a pier with some people on it. So if you're working on practicing your long exposure, you're getting it. However, there's something weird here. The reflection in your mirror in the glass is not streaky, which makes me think you did a motion blur out here. Thoughts, Eric?
Yeah, I mean, but however, while that's the case, I kind of like it.
I know, it's still interesting.
It's still interesting, even though I kind of like it. I mean, it's definitely, I mean, they're all good. I mean, it's good use of light, good use of patterns.
Yep.
I mean, it's all around just good stuff.
Okay, last thing. So on last Saturday night at 9 o'clock, I did a thing that I've done 2 of them now, called Book Chat. And basically, we get some wine and some cheese and some snacks and some spray cheese and some chicken and a biscuit, and we just chat about books. It's fun and stuff, but I actually went through the real actual process of how I take a book from idea all the way to the end. And I brought all the players in that are a part of this and how it all comes together. And it's a lot of fun. They are great fun. And we do them. We've done 2 of them. We're going to do maybe one more in a couple of weeks. But if you want to watch the book chat, because you rarely get to see me in a smoking jacket and a pipe. So if you will go and watch, you can find it on my blog today. Oh, no, I'm sorry, not on my blog. Over on lightroomkillertips.com. Yesterday, I embedded it. If you're watching this on Facebook, look on my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/skelby. So it looks like Skelby, but I embedded it in there as well. But yeah, scroll down a little, go to hit the Lightroom in 60 seconds, double deja vu Tuesday, and scroll down a little. I put a couple of tips there for Lightroom in 60 seconds, and then I embedded the feed right there. So that's where it all happens. So if you get a chance, you can, let it run in the background, or you can just watch. But I do go through the actual real. I go through the actual real process of how much. It's very surprising, I think, you will find. And I have lots of graphics to describe it all and show you all the people and tell some stories. And it's just a fun night. And also, Rocky Nook, my publisher, gives ridiculous deals on my book. Number one is they give a 50% or more off deal on my book bundle. And then they give you a code for 40% off of any book in their whole library. In fact, I could give you those codes right now. It just happened a couple of days ago. I'm sure they're still working. Hold on, don't move, don't breathe, don't make a sound. I will tell you the codes. The secret codes, the secret codes. I'm looking up the secret codes. I think the code for the book chat was SK chat. I'm going to go check it for you. Is that right? Is it, so it would be Rocky Nook.
That sounds right.
SK, was it SK Book Chat or SK Chat? It's got to be SK Book Chat. All right, how about just Book Chat? There we go. Oh, actually, the one called Scott Kelby Book Chat was the one from a couple of weeks ago where they gave all three, my landscape, my natural photography, and my flash book, all three, print and ebook, for $50. 3 books and 3 ebooks. Or you could get just the print books, all 3 books, landscape, natural light, and flash, all of them. That's more than 50% off. That's over 50% off the cover price. Cheaper than Amazon, cheaper than anywhere. But maybe Kim will let me know what the actual address is. All right, give me a second. Erik, stall for a second.
Yeah, I'm looking it up too. So we got a book chat that happened.
So
and
we got
the
a book
website is gonna be something.
I'm surprised I can't find it right here because Kim texted it to me during the book chat. And now I can't put my hands right on it.
Kelby chat.
Kelby chat. So rockynook.com. Well, of course, now you can take advantage of either one of those.
Yeah.
Kelby chat. Ah, there it is. So that was my, how do I do that in Lightroom Classic, and how do I do that in Photoshop? The print and ebook for $40, or just the print books for $30. That's more than 50% off. So those are pretty cool. And they also gave us another one. What was the thing for 40% off any book? Oh, that code is, thank you, Kim.
SK chat.
Right? Chat. So you could take 40% off any book. And you know what's nice is, like, you know, Amazon is prioritizing certain objects and all. They got the books in stock, ready to ship. So if you order from them, you'll get them quick. You don't have to wait till, like, you know, July or whatever the crazy Amazon ship dates are now. Anyway, that's it for today's show. Thank you for everybody who sent in photos. I know that it makes you hold your breath every time you do that, because getting a critique, even if it's a blind critique, we don't tell your name, you know, it still takes some guts. So thank you for everyone that does that, because it doesn't just help the people that are getting the critique, but everybody can learn from it. So that's good. Erik, any final comments?
No, I think we hit it all. I mean, that's what with this, it's you can see how we started in the beginning with that first one, talking about really a lot of times it's people knowing the technical, but now getting into the shots and actually getting into composition, telling a story, those J. Maisel things with the light gestures color. Those are the kind of things to focus on now. All righty.
One last thing, we want to welcome Lytra. Go over to their website, Lytra, LITRA.com, and check out their stuff. Go watch their videos and check out how the Lytra system works. It is amazingly slick. Their picture they have on their site here is someone with a tiny little Lytra lighting like an engagement shot here. Oh, you're on the same page I'm on. Yeah, where they're lighting an engagement shot with a tiny little Lytra. And you saw the ad for Lytra. It's the tiniest little thing. The Lytra Torch 2.0. It's so small. Anyway, we want to welcome them and thank them for supporting the show. It helps us to be able to bring this show to you. And thanks to all of our awesome sponsors. Thanks to Mr. Erik, the Rocket Man, Real Man, Can of Ham, I Can't Shoot, Rocket Man, Kuna.
I got a rocket shoot next week.
Do you?
Week. Yeah, I do.
All right. Oh, at NASA, I mean at the Cape?
Yes, a SpaceX launch.
SpaceX. All right.
Middle of the night. So it's a night launch. That's my jam.
Ooh, that is your jam. You do. He does love a night launch. All right. Thanks to everybody. Thanks to all our sponsors. Thanks to our crew. Thanks to Ron, and thanks to Jason and our crew and Christina. And we'll see you guys next week right here on the grid. Take care, everybody.
See you guys.